All right, welcome back to the channel, anybody. This is Rob for Smirking Gun Reviews. It's about 11:50, and I decided to stay up to watch Castle Rock. It's the newest episode, season 1, episode 5. We'll have full spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go watch that and come back here. Um, I wanted to get it out of the way in case I didn't like it. Last week, uh, anybody that's seen my last week review, uh, people didn't really like my my energetic uh, description of how little I thought about last week's episode. Um, if you come to this channel and you expect your opinion to be regurgitated out of my mouth, uh, be ready for disappointment, I guess. That being said, I did like. There was a comment of how this episode, this show is like a Stephen King book in that it's very wordy, it's very detailed, and like many of Stephen King's books, takes a long time to get somewhere. They had a really good point because this show is doing the same thing. Um, and so, going forward, I have to try to think of this each episode like a chapter of a King book. Um, and so I'm going to try to be a little bit more forgiving at how dull it can be. Um, and I think Bill Skarsgård's character said it best right at the end of the episode. You don't even know what's going on, do you? And I think I can speak for the entire audience by saying, yeah, I don't think any of us know what's going on here. We know that Henry is a lawyer with a past that is missing. We know his mom probably knows something, but she's got Alzheimer's. Got Alan, who's allowed, things to go on, like letting the warden take this kid up to the prison, and he's the one who found Henry. We've got Molly, who is a psychic and has been able to feel things, from everyone. And then, at least in this episode, we start to get a better description of that from her. That it is a really good description by her, and I hope that Henry is actually believing her. Speaking of Henry, every single episode he says at least once or twice, I'm not. I'm just his lawyer. I'm leaving. Like he's been saying that like practically the entire series, and it's just starting to lose its impact. Like if you've ever seen the movie Clerks, and the character Dante just keeps saying, "I'm not even supposed to be here today." By the end of that movie, he keeps saying it, and it loses its power. And it's the same thing here. I'm just like, yeah, dude, you're leaving. You can stop saying it. We get it. Is this for people that only watched episode 5 and didn't watch 1 through 4? So that we have to, episode, we have to hear about how you're leaving? That's a writer's thing, not a character thing. That being said, again, this isn't a bad episode. In fact, I finally realized that something I should have realized a while back was that Terry O'Quinn's character, the warden, Warden Lacey, I'm pretty much convinced now that he committed suicide because he touched the kid. Because we see him touch him in this episode, and everybody that touches him has something bad happen. But we also know he doesn't have to touch you. When he sneaks, this was actually really effective, and it wasn't scary, but it was very creepy and very effective in like how they don't show you. You hear, but you don't see. And so when he creepily walks into that house, first they're playing like that Shirley Temple music, and then what's a happy birthday turns into a nightmare, and we don't get to see anything, but we can tell that this family just basically took itself out. Like they just turned into homicidal maniacs or something. Like the husband and the wife both sounded like they kind of turned on each other, and so and all we know is there's a screaming baby. It was really creepy, seen from the view of Creepy McCreep eyes. So that was really effective. and then him sitting on their roof. A lot of people standing on precipices, like everybody's about to leap off. Like at the bridge with a very strange. Is this a cameo from James LeGros as the? I want to say he must be the mayor, honoring Pangborn for years of service. There's a few things that are just kind of out of the blue in this, like the wildfires are just kind of out of the blue. This whole thing like is never mentioned that he's getting honored. I don't think before, and then he's just being honored. The dog barks, and Sissy Spacek decides to jump off the bridge. So it's like people are standing on ledges a lot in this episode. Well, mainly, I mean, you've got or on bridge, on bridges. You got Alan standing there. You got the model where he's standing there. You've got him on the roof. You've got him on two roofs, really. Then you've got Sissy Spacek standing on the bridge. Just a lot of weird stuff. Jane Levy in this episode, again, kind of just a throwaway character. She doesn't give anything to the story. It's not her fault. I mean, she goes over there with a donut in her. She's eating a donut. She finds naked Bill Skarsgård. We hard cut away to nothing, and then the next thing we know, she's smoking pot with him in the car. Well, she's smoking pot. He's in the car with her, and she just all so that she can tell us that she's related to uh, Jack Torrance from The Shining, and then he she's there to say, oh, he freaked out and like was standing on the bridge or on the roof of the building. Uh, how did she even get him dressed again? Like there's just like that whole blank. When they hard cut away and then you don't get any explanation. How did she get him in the car? How did she get him back in clothes? What happened when she stood there? Seeing him, standing there naked. Give us something there. I don't know. Like she just jumps away. Um, the whole thing at the end though, where somehow Alan gets this video of Skarsgård, um, and then he knows that he's in the woods. Like he just kind of telepath. Like again, I don't know. Like how did he know he was out in the woods? Um, Walking around. I just there's is this stuff going to be explained, or is this just like some sort of mental telepathy where he just knew where he was? Um, and I do like Scott Glenn's speech to him out there, but again, it's all rings hollow because we hard cut away, and that's the end of the episode. Um, but I do like him talking about he pulled Lacey over. He found this kid in the back of his car, and it felt like the right thing to do. Still, we don't get the answers of who he is, and it's dragging out like that. This isn't as to me as bad as I didn't dislike this as like I did last week's episode. There was good stuff going on in here, and again, like I'm gonna try to be more patient with this show, but I'm still gonna point out things that just don't make sense or problems that I have with it. The acting is still really good. I enjoy all the actors in it. Um, but yeah, the snail's pace of this is terrible. Um, Henry, I thought we were getting some interesting backstory about the tinnitus, and I guess that's also going to lead to something. He had the ringing in his ears in the past. He had the ringing in his ears when he got a gun blasted next to his head, and now he's got ringing in his ears again. I mean, again, these are all little details that I guess are going to play out over the course of however long this show is. We are at the halfway point, so um, you know, I expect for some more things to happen here, and I'm gonna keep watching it. I mean, this is a good episode. It's a decent episode, but again, like it's lacking in content, and it's lacking in interesting story. Like holding my attention. I kind of drift off a lot while I'm watching it. That being said, like I'm still willing to give it a chance, and I'm not gonna come down on it as hard as I was last week. Um, It does feel like reading Stephen King just put to screen. Um, so that's about it. I'm not sure where the name Harvest comes from for the title. If anybody else out there knows why it's called Harvest, maybe I missed something. I was drifting in and out a little bit here and there. So, anyway, here's to next week. If you know, I hope we're building. We're obviously building to something. So anyway, if you like this video, better than one I did last week, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, comment. Give me anything that you got for this, man. We need some details. If anybody else is picking up on stuff that I'm not laying down, go for it. So anyway, this is Rob for Smirking Gun Reviews, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you for anybody who does support this channel, and we will see you on the next video.